Hello and welcome to the next Xcam tutorial video, and in this part I will show you the last extended option for the copy function, and then we go on with the system window and the search window. So here we go. Okay, so we start with the extended option for the copy function, and first I have to load my project. And if you have any object selected, then press C to copy this object in the copy direction you have selected. But if you press and hold down the left Windows key, then you get the automatic menu. And here you can enter a value on the different object axes to change the copy behavior. So that means if I set 1 meter on the x-axis, then it looks like this. So the copy distance on x-axis has changed about 1 meter. Now we can reset the value and maybe change or add a value on y-axis, and then it looks like this, maybe into the other direction. And if we set a value on z-axis, it looks like this. And if you add a value to the orientation, then you can build some round structures. So first press and hold down the left Windows key, and I have to reset these values here. And then maybe we try an orientation value 6 degrees. And now I copy the object, and as you can see, the structure is a round structure. But if you use this function with an object like this, and maybe with an orientation value of 24, then the result looks wrong. So the objects are only rotated, but the position is wrong. And exactly for this problem there is an additional function available, and you already know the function restricted movement. So press X, for example, to move all the objects on the x-axis of the reference object, or Y, to move the objects on this axis. But if you press and hold down the X key and then in addition the Shift key, then you can move all the objects on their own x-axis, and then it looks like this. And if you now press and hold down the Y key and then in addition the Shift key, left Shift key, and now you have a round structure. And now you can copy this structure maybe and so on. It looks okay. Here another example to use this function. So for example we copy this object here and now we change the orientation 90 degrees, and there's no snipping function available, but anyway we go on with a copy action. Okay, and now we select all these objects here, and then we press and hold down the X key and in addition the left Shift key. Another nice example to use this function is to create a wall with two different object types. So we start with the wall element. Then select all these objects here. And now create a copy. Press C. Press E to set the objects back. And now replace the new objects with this object type. So set the focus, press R. And now we have this constellation. But the objects have not the right position yet. So press E. And now we move all these objects on their own x-axis to reach the right position. So press and hold down the X key and then press and hold down the Shift key and move the mouse. Release the mouse key, release the keys, and now I think the wall is ready. It's okay. Sometimes it's very useful to know the bounding box of the object, so we can use the object info page to find the bounding box size, and then it's easier to find the right values for the automatic function. Okay, and now some more examples to give you a little bit inspiration. And I think we can start to create a structure with these three different object types. And it's really easy. So first we copy this object with an orientation value of 24. Then select all these objects. Press and hold down X, press and hold down Shift to find the right position. Press and hold down Y, press and hold down Shift. Press C to copy all these objects. Set the focus to this object. Press R to replace. Press X, no, press Y and Shift. Then maybe we can add a little bit random orientation. Press and hold down left Windows key, and I think we can try 5 degrees. Oh, a little bit more. That's okay. Now I select the tables again. Create another copy and replace these copies with this object type. Okay. Press left control key, move mouse wheel. And with these objects I think we can also add a little bit random orientation. That's okay. And now, for example, you can save the whole construction as a new prefab. Another example with these objects, and I think we can create a kind of a road barrier. So first I have to copy this object here, and I already know the correct orientation value, 2.4. So I will start the copy action. Select all these objects. Rotate a little bit, and then press and hold down Y, press and hold down Shift to find the correct position. Press and hold down X and Shift. That's okay. Move the objects a little bit up. Create a copy. Move these objects also a little bit up. Create another copy. Replace all these objects with this object type. Set the focus, press R. Now move these objects down. Then press X and Shift. Press left Alt key, press and hold down the left Alt key and move the mouse wheel to rotate all the objects on their own axis. Press Y and Shift. I think this is a nice position. And now I think it's okay. And now another example with two other object types, and this example is completely different. So, and first I will start to copy in this object type here, and I will use two automatic values. So press and hold down the left Windows key, and I will use an orientation value of 10 degrees, and the set value of 0.2 4. Okay, now I copy this object, and as you can see, it looks really interesting. And now we can select the whole group and copy these objects. Press and hold down Y, then Shift. Copy these objects again. Replace these objects with this object type. Press R. Press X and Shift. Press U. Copy, move up. Copy, move up. Space. And now I copy in the first object group G, C, replace, X and Shift, U, copy, move up, copy, move up. It's only an example to show you all the nice possibilities. The last example I want to show you is to build an object construction with these 4 different object types. And I will start to copy this object type here. But first I have to set the ASL mode on. Okay. Then set automatic orientation value. 12 degrees. Start to copy the objects. Select all the objects. Press and hold down Y and press and hold down Shift. And then X and Shift. That's okay. And now copy all the objects. Replace the new objects with this object type. Press and hold down left Alt key, move the mouse wheel. Press and hold down Y and Shift. Copy the objects. And again Y and Shift. Select the first objects, create a copy. And then I think we replace some single objects. Okay. Now I'll create some copies with this object, and I think I will use an orientation value 24. Select all the objects, press X and Shift, Y and Shift. Press C to copy, and again. Select all the objects, press G to create a new object group. Copy. 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 And copy. Oh no. Press delete. Now select all the objects. And we have a closer look. That's all. There are two important things you have to know if you use the X plus Shift function or the Y plus Shift function. And the first thing is press both keys in the right order. So first you have to press the X or the Y key, and then the Shift key. Otherwise, if you press first the Shift key and then maybe X, then you can only rotate the objects. And the next important thing is, if you have found the right position, then please release first the mouse button and then release both keys. So otherwise, if you don't use in this order, then it can happen that the objects are placed suddenly at any wrong position. So that's important. Okay, we go on with the system window and the search window, and to make the system window visible, simply press this button here. And if you press this button, then you can show the keyboard assignment, and I think you already know this function. But I think for the release I will also create a PDF file with all the keyboard assignments. And if you press this button here, M, then the list shows you all the latest XCAM system messages. And the latest message is always the last list entry here. So this function is sometimes useful because sometimes the system message is a little bit overlapping. If you press this button here, then you will get a list with all available icons based on the PBOs you have loaded. So, but there is no other function available yet. And maybe I will add a function to export this data into a single file. And if you press this button, then this list will show you the content of the selected project. And that means if you press this button to load a project and you select any list entry here, then you will see all the available object types within the selected project. That's also sometimes helpful to know which object types are part of the project. So that's all at this point. If you want to search for any object type within the whole object library, then press this button here to show the search window. And here you have three different search options available. The first one is to search by display names. The second one is to search by class names. And the last one is to search by model names. And that means if you press this button, then you can enter a string to search this string within the display names. Press OK. And now this procedure will take some seconds. And we have to wait. But then you will get a list with all the objects you have searched, and that means all these objects contains the string lamp within the display name. But note at this point the list shows always the object class. So no matter if you search within display name or model name or class name, the list shows always the class name. Okay, and then you will simply select any list entry to have a closer look. And you can start to work with these objects now. And of course there is an option to save the whole result list as a new favorite. So simply press this button, and now if you press the new favorite button, then the XChem knows that you have searched for any string within display names, and now you can save this list as a new favorite. Save search result as new favorite. Lamps. Okay. And then you have a favorite, a new favorite with the whole search result.